Love is in the air and in the films being watched in this film. And while many people celebrate finding the one, there are those who are so despondent they can't imagine connecting really with anyone. In fact, truth be told, they probably can't even stand themselves. And maybe life takes these melancholy folks down a path to help them realize their self-worth, which in turn will change the way they view the rest of the world. So does Isn't It Romantic deliver a rom-com parody, but not really a parody as hinted at in the trailers? Or should we all just grab some ice cream, a box of chocolates, and couch-a-thon our favorite rom-coms instead? Let's talk about it in this review. The story begins by introducing us to Natalie, played by Rebel Wilson. She lives in New York with her dog, and she works as an architect at a firm where she designs parking garages. Immediately in this story, we realize she isn't taken seriously, is overworked, underappreciated, and depressed. However, she does have one friend that tries to be the lamp that lights her dark world, and that's Josh, played by Adam Devine. He encourages her, he believes in her as an architect, and he even goes as far as to invite her out to karaoke nights with him. And then one day while on the subway, she encounters a mugger, and in trying to escape, she runs into a pole and is knocked unconscious. And when she finally comes to, she wakes up in a world that looks very familiar and very similar to all of the romantic comedy worlds we've seen in those films. Overall, the film really surprised me. I did expect walking in to enjoy some good laughs and a story that moved from point A to point B with ease, and I wasn't wrong. However, the levels we go through with Natalie as she's trying to escape this bizarro rom-com alternate universe was definitely the big surprise for me here in this story. Plus the reactions we get from Rebel Wilson as she's going through the film and she has these realizations that she's got to solve this puzzle, and when she thinks she's solved it, her reactions after she figures out she has not was pretty enjoyable too. Plus there's plenty of familiar rom-com tropes played out through this movie. If you've ever watched a film on the Lifetime channel or the Hallmark channel, and you've ever seen these quaint little towns that are picture perfect with people in the towns who are also picture perfect, you'll really appreciate the new New York that she wakes up in. That's all part of this whole rom-com alternate universe that she's set in. The regular New York is set in a kind of darker gray tones, whereas the rom-com New York is set up with more of the primary colors, but not so much just primary colors like we saw in La La Land with the red, blue, yellow, and green, but there's definitely more color and there's more build out in this world to make things feel more lovey-dovey for sure. Plus all the moments where Rebel Wilson's actually calling out the tropes in the romantic comedies as she's experienced them in this film was definitely a highlight as well, keeping with some self-referential humor, kind of knowing what this film is supposed to be about and how much fun they really want to achieve with this story. Another big surprise for me was the plot twist at the very end. Continuing with the familiar rom-com tropes, I just assumed that once she got to the wedding to try and break everything up, we'd be all set to go back to regular New York where she can kind of live out her life with this new perspective. But in fact, the big plot twist really surprised me because she didn't need someone to fall in love with her, and she didn't need to fall in love with someone else. What she needed to do was she needed to realize her self-worth and love herself. Isn't It Romantic is playing at your local movie theater right now, and I am going to recommend that you grab that special someone in your life and you take them out and you enjoy a fun night at the movies. Overall, the pace of this film stays consistent from beginning to end. There's some really great song and dance numbers in this film that surprised me as well. Plus, there's some really creative shots that they do to help kind of move the story along that really made this film feel more like a musical than actually just a straight up rom-com. There's plenty that makes this film stand apart from the crowd in a good way. And if you're anything like me, you'll definitely leave the theater smiling. So, because of all of these reasons, Isn't It Romantic will be getting both high fives from this guy. Isn't It Romantic is playing at your local movie theater right now. Definitely go check this one out with your boo.